Chapter 16, Lifelong Frenemies. Mal's and Jay's squabbling voices carried throughout the marketplace, and Evie couldn't help but overhear. She was at the bazaar for her first ever shopping trip, since nothing had befallen Evie for having left the castle and gone to school. Evil Queen, was more convinced than ever that Maleficent had forgotten about their banishment, or at least didn't care that they had returned. Evil Queen was so excited to be back in the village, she was running from storefront to storefront, saying hello to everyone, and filling her cart with all sorts of age-defying elixirs and new beauty regimens. Evie squinted at their faces. Mal was scowling, and Jay looked annoyed, as per usual. Was she imagining it, or did she hear them say something about a hole in the magical barrier? The memory of that burst of light that had shot out of Carlos's invention that the night of the party came back to her quickly. "Are you guys talking about a hole in the dome?" she asked, coming up to the two of them. Mal looked up suspiciously, but when she saw Evie, her voice turned thick as honey. "Why, Evie, you're just the person I've been looking for," she said. "She is?" Mal asked, confused. She is, Mal said definitely. "Now, what were you saying about the dome?" Evie wondered if she should tell them what she knew. She knew she couldn't trust Mal, and she had an inkling that Jay was behind her missing poison heart necklace. She hadn't seen it since the party and suspected he'd left it when he'd taken her cloak that evening. "Nothing," she said. "Tell us," urged Jay, crossing his arms. "Why should I?" Evie sniffed. Mal had trapped her in a closet, and Jay wasn't any better, really, the little thief. "Because," Jay said. Then he was stumped. Because if you don't, Mal will curse you?" he added, even though he didn't sound convinced himself. "If you hadn't noticed, there's no magic on this island," Evie said huffily. "Not yet," said Mal, "but there may be one day." She took Evie's arm in hers and whispered, "Look, I know we didn't start off on the right foot, but I think we should let bygones be bygones. It's a small island, and we shouldn't be enemies." "Really?" "Totally," said Mal with her sweetest smile. Evie knew Mal wasn't being sincere, but she was intrigued enough to play along with it. She was about to tell her what she knew about the dome when Evil Queen burst out of bits and bobs, wearing a jet black velour sweet suit with Queen embroidered across her dearie. "Evie, I've got some new eyeshadow for you." "Oh," she said, when she saw Evie wasn't alone. "If it isn't Mal," she added nervously. "How are you, dear? How's your mother? Is she here? Is she still mad at me?" Mal blinked. Evie wished her mother would stop talking, but of course that was a fruitless wish. Her mother continued to babble on nervously. "Tell your mother to come around and see me sometime. I'd be happy to give her a makeover. I've seen her photos in the paper. She's looking a bit green lately. She needs a stronger foundation," Evil Queen said. "I'll, let her know," Mal said. "You do that, sweetheart. And if I may say so, your purple hair is fabulous. It really brings out your cheekbones," Evil Queen gushed. "Thank you, I guess," said Mal, who looked distinctly uncomfortable. Jay laughed. "Take the compliment, Mal." "Sorry, Evil Queen. Mal isn't used to compliments. You know, Maleficent has no interest in beauty unless it can be used to glamour someone into doing her will." "Right. Let's go, Evie," said her mother. "Oh, can Evie hang out with us?" asked Mal with a syrupy smile. "We were just about to grab a few unhealthy snacks from the slop shop." Evie was torn. On the one hand, she knew she should stay away from Mal if she wanted to be safe. But on the other hand, she never got to hang out with kids her age. Evil Queen nodded. "Sure, I'll see you at home, sweetie." As she left, she mouthed, "Reapply your lip gloss." When her mother had disappeared into the crowd, Evie picked up the conversation where they had left off. "You guys want to know about the hole in the dome or not?" Mal and Jay exchanged glances. "Of course we do," they chorused. Evie shrugged. "Well, something happened the night of the party that may have to do with the dome. Is that right? Asked Mal with a raised eyebrow. You need to talk to Carlos, said Evie. He knows what happened. She shivered from the memory, at the bright light that had emanated from that little machine. For a second there, she had worried that they had broken the universe somehow. She still remembered the vibrant, sharp feeling of electricity in the air. It had felt like magic. Carlos? Why? What does he have to do with anything? Mal demanded as they passed a tent selling colorful scarves, and Jay practiced his parkour by running across the walls and rooftops. Because he was the one that did it, said Evie. Did what? Punched a hole in the dome. Jay barked a laugh and dropped down next to them. Yeah, right. As if that little guy can punch anything. Come on, Mal, we've got work to do. He began to turn away. Evie stared at Mal. Mal stared at Evie. I'm not lying, she said to Mal. I didn't think you were, said Mal, her green eyes flashing. Evie met them with her calm blue ones. Finally, Mal said, Okay, you actually believe her? Jay gawked, sounding right then like the Iago. I think we need to check it out, said Mal. But we're headed to Dragon Hall, said Jay. No, we'll head toward Hell Hall first. I want to talk to Carlos, Mal decided, and you're coming with us, Evie. Evie didn't argue with that. Something big was going down. Something had started. The night that Carlos had turned on that machine, and against her better judgment, Evie wanted to see how it would end. So onward to Hell Hall they went, but now the twosome was 3.